I'm not looking at
Hi, thanks for coming, guys. My name is Megan Dunham, and today we're going to be talking about communication. So in today's society, we can hardly argue that the impact of television, and in particular shows like Dr. Oz and Good Morning America, have had a large impact on popular culture. These shows also hold an impact on journalism and how the political knowledge to society has been affected. So how can we determine if these sources are reliable or credited? So the relationship between media and politics has been well documented for many years. Through research, I was sharing the increasing impacts of social news media has had on individuals. For impacts include our language, our culture, as well as how we behave or react as a result from this type of communication. Have you guys ever tried to click on a news article, maybe on Twitter or Facebook? I know I personally have, and maybe the article is on how to jumpstart your workout, or maybe it's on the latest global politician views, maybe something about Donald Trump. And sometimes we click on these articles, we assume that we are getting real and current information. However, in today's society, people have been making up similar accounts to look like a credible source. It may look like a reliable source like CNN or ABC, but it's definitely not those sources. Articles that have been produced may seem relevant with everything that is happening in the world, or they could potentially have something that may interest you. In many advertisements we have seen on Facebook or any type of social media may grab our attention due to what we are particularly like. So say you liked a Facebook or a page about dogs. You're more likely to have advertisement about dogs on the side of your page. Advertisers are also able to specifically target those who have Facebook users or Twitter to the side. Advertisers are able to advertise specifically to women and men, and even more in children due to like games and activities that their parents may have on their phones. Your original intent is probably to open up the article and view the content inside. But as you can already tell, advertisements have distracted us from that content. Tracing back to the article, some of these online articles may seem real to us, but there are a few things that seem wrong with them. This is fake news. Fake news has been in the recent news, particularly with what has happened with in the political world of voting Donald Trump into presidency. How can we trust that this information that has been given to us is credible? And how can we rely on sources and information from the internet? Although we may wish that all the sites are credible and in their information, we have to keep an eye for fake news. Like in this example of Jim Carrey in 2013, there is a whole hoax on him passing. So in some examples, these are just a few on what has happened in today's society. There's a few things that we can keep an eye out for fake news, like our URLs and websites. From this website, it was abcnews.com.go. So it was a very interesting URL and has sparked some very interesting news, like a shooter on Capitol Hill. We can also look out for business logos like ABC. This one is similar to the ABC News, but it's definitely not the same. Some other things you could potentially do are read about the company, the website, in the About Us section. Or you could potentially even Google search those images, as people who are making these articles aren't necessarily taking their own photos for the article. Using these key factors can help determine if the article is fake. Does fake news take an impact on today's society? Yes, indeed it does, especially with what has recently happened with the polls and voting. From my course textbook, there has been a chapter about the meaning behind words. This plays a large impact on what is being communicated to society. For example, if a site is using the words doctor or physician, we tend to believe that information in that article is being provided is factual. We tend to do this based on the definition of having a doctorate degree that requires a certification and a large amount of education. The use of words can sometimes trick the human behavior. Not only the word can be used in power, but if you combine the words with other words, they can become powerful. For an example, if Dr. Oz were to say something, you can then take the words that he had said into a high reputation and using it to draw in an audience. The use of a person's reputation can influence these decisions. Human emotion might be positive or negative based on our emotional intelligence. There comes a reaction or a behavior to follow. We might click on the next link, or we might close this one out. As my course textbooks has stated, language can help us connect with others. It allows us to express affection, provide comfort, support, and share social information. Thank you.
Thank you.